how is AI news providing, accurate and valuable information daily with this ever-changing environment?
The first thing you need to start out with is good sources. So I search for news, AI news that is maybe on the AP or Reuters or Bloomberg, and I take a look at those. I because ChatGPT can't always see the websites. Sometimes they block it. So I copy the articles and I paste it into ChatGPT and I said, here's the article source I want to write. I want to come at it from this perspective. Please write my articles like a news report, and I tell it, I give it very specific guidelines. We cannot have content duplication that's more than 20%. You cannot invent quotes or paraphrase quotes. If you're using quotes, you need to use the whole quote because ChatGPT
Yes,
loves to paraphrase.
I know it.
So hard. So ChatGPT will write my article. I'll take it and I first put it into Copyscape, which is a plagiarism content duplication checker. And it'll
Okay,
tell
good
me
to
how
know.
much content is the same and whatever. And if it's too high, I'll say, ChatGPT, we need to redo this. But when you tell it that you needed to reduce your content duplication, it's going to paraphrase. So what I do is once we got the content duplication down, I take it and I compare it back to that original article source. And I'll make sure that the quotes are still accurate and I'll double check that we've got all of the details. And I just make sure that we're covering everything. And a lot of times, even the original article doesn't have something that I come up with. Like, let me try to think of something today. I can't remember. I can't think of anything right off the top of my head, but I'll go and I'll ask ChatGPT, what about this? And it'll say, well, that wasn't in the original article, but that is a good question. And I was like, can you find reputable sources that would be able to add information to this? And it'll do a quick web search and it'll say, yep, here's a source from the Reuters about this and this and this or whatever, and then I'll say let's incorporate it, but let's make sure we're addressing this question because if I have the question, I'm sure other people are
Yep.
going to have questions. So sometimes I add to it that way, but I double and triple check it basically. So ChatGPT does write my articles, but then I check it against the plagiarism checker. I check it against the original source. I sometimes add to it and we refine the article back and forth as we go. It also writes my SEO titles and descriptions and creates an image for my articles, which is nice, except when it puts text overlay on the image, then it doesn't know how to spell suddenly.
Yes, I've noticed that too.
And then I have to go into Canva. Canva has some AI tools that will uses AI to grab the text off of it and then lets me be able to
Yeah.
edit the text accurately. So I do that. So it's a lot, it's not like I can't just copy and paste the article that ChatGPT gives me because one, it wouldn't all have all the facts. Two, it might invent things or be, paraphrased in a way that you just are not allowed to have. And, so having me double and triple check things, and using reputable sources, that's really how we stay ahead of the responsible reporting. And then I also make sure that we try not to sensationalize the news. So a lot of times these other news companies, they'll come up with a clickbait title that'll just get you to click. And then
Yep.
it either doesn't give you the information you were looking for or it's just tabloidy.
Yep.
So I also tell ChatGPT, we got to be professional here. We're not here to get clicks, even though we are. We can't write that way, because I don't like to see articles that way, so I don't write articles that way.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, you still need, journalism integrity. You still need, to hold yourselves to those ethics because it's so easy just to say, well, I'm going to write this headline that's going to give me all these clicks because I need to show my boss that we're getting clicks.